Hey, it's Andrew Long with journalismgis.com, and I'm going to run through a little technique to find the population within a buffer. I'm going to go pretty fast because I'm going to try to hit the 15-minute mark for YouTube. So I have two layers. I have a point layer of airports and a census tract layer. And what I'm going to do is create a buffer and then intersect that buffer with the tracks to interpolate some population. So the first thing that I need to do is I have my track shape file. Both of these have been projected. It's very important that this is projected because it won't work. ARC won't calculate the geometry or the area if it's not projected. And so this is projected to Arizona's state plane. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the attribute table of the tracks. Again, just a census tiger file that I've projected. I'm going to add a field. I'm going to call it area. We're going to make it a double and hit OK. And now what I'm going to do is, if I right-click or click on this the header of that field, I'm going to calculate geometry. And so what I want to do is I want to calculate the area, and I'm going to make it square miles, and I'm going to hit OK. And so it's calculated the square miles for that area. All right, so I can close that now. The next thing I want to do is make a buffer, a 2-mile buffer around the airports, and this is what I'm going to use to calculate the population with. So I'm going to go up here to geoprocessing, and I'm going to make a buffer. And so I just input the airports. Come on. And so this is going to make the buffer for whatever I want. So I'm going to add 2, and I'm going to change this to miles. Make sure you change it to miles because it just said feet right there. And I'm going to hit OK. And what this is going to do is, again, it's going to create a 2-mile buffer around those points that I can later use to intersect with the tract files. And that's what's going to help me to create my interpolation. So it's creating a buffer. You can see it down at the bottom. It's saying buffer. It's working. It's making a 2-mile radius around those, and it's going to add it to my layer file. So there it comes. So we have Maricopa Airport's buffer. I'm just going to call this 2-mile buffer. All right, so we have our buffer. Now what I need to do is I need to add the population data to the census tracts. So I'm going to do a join. Actually, first I need to add my data. So I've created a Access census database that I'm just going to connect to. So here's my Access. I've done a query for Maricopa tracts. And so it shows up here, and if I look at it real quick, you can see that it's basically just the minimal census stuff that I need. There's a GeoID, which is state, county, tract put together in one, and then these are just the basic census stuff. So this one right here is full population for the census tract. All right, so we're going to join the shape file with the data. So I'm going to do a join because it's 1-to-1. And I'm going to join the GeoID from the shape file with the GeoID from the tracks. I'm going to hit OK. And basically this is just going to take all the census information. It's going to attach it to these tracks based on that unique ID. So now if I open the attribute table for the shape file, you'll see that I not only have the original stuff, but as I scroll down, I have all the stuff from the census information. And you can do this for an Excel or whatever. And more importantly, I have my area that I created right here. All right, so we have our tracks and our buffers. And now what we want to do is we want to intersect them. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to cookie cutter the two of them. So whatever is overlapping is going to be intersected together. So I have my buffer and my tracks, and I'm going to hit OK. The cool thing about this is it adds all the attributes. So the buffer retains the the information from the airports. So I have which airport, all the data with the airport. But now I'm actually going to combine all the tracks that actually overlap that buffer. It takes a little bit to actually make. Again, you can see it down here. It's calculating the intersect. Once we have that cookie cutter, just the tracks that are within the buffer, what we're going to do is we're going to interpolate the population by figuring out a percentage. So we're going to make a new population. So now that it's done, I'm going to turn off my tracks so you can see what this looks like. As you can see, where there's lots of little tracks, they've you can basically see them. Out here where there's only one big tract, obviously you're only going to get one population figure. So we have the buffer. I'm going to call that 2 mile intersect. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to open that attribute table. And again, it has all the airport information. And if I keep scrolling, so that's all the airport information. It also has all the track information. And because I did a join with all the census stuff, it has all of those attributes. And so I'm going to just use a couple of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple fields here. I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to call it new area. And make it a double, and I'm going to hit OK. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to calculate the new area because we've cut these census tracts. So we need to know now what is that new census tracts area. So we're going to hit calculate geometry. Again, change it to miles. And we're going to hit OK. And we can see that we have new area right here. Now we're going to calculate the new population. So I'm going to add another field. I'm going to call this new pop for new population. And I'm going to make that a double. And I'm going to hit OK. So now we have this new field, and I want to calculate the new population for that new area. So I'm going to use something called the field calculator. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to take the new area, and I'm going to divide it by the old area, which is up here, called Maricopa Tracts area. That's that one that we added, that field that we added. And I'm going to multiply that by the population. Now in this one, it's this this pop 101. This is the actual, just the full population of that area. The other ones break it up by race. So this is just the full population. Oh, I did something wrong here. Let's do it again. I didn't add it. So making my calculation, double click so that I have new area divided by the old area times the population. And that's going to calculate the actual population for that little sliver of track in our new buffer. So for this one, it's 17 out of 4,792. So this new area is a smaller percentage of that other track, and that's what it's calculating. Again, it's interpolation, so since census tracts are aggregate, you could be off because the population could be in one corner of the tract and you're aggregating it over the entire tract. So just something you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. So now that we have the new population, we need to just get it in a form that's somewhat meaningful to us. So I'm just going to summarize by airport. So I'm going to right click, or I'm on my laptop, so I'm just going to double, hit the 2-click and summarize. So I'm going to summarize all of these fields because there's more than one because of the way we've constructed this. So if I scroll down to the bottom, here's new population, and what I want is the sum. I want it to give me the sum of those tracks that are contained within the radius. And I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to want to ask, it asks me if I want to add the results to the map. I'm going to hit yes. And I can right click and open that, and now I can look at it. And basically what I have here is I have the estimated population that is within a 2-mile radius of each of these airports. And I can actually summarize that by doing statistics. And so there are about 270,000 people living within 2 miles of an airport within Maricopa County. Thanks for watching, and I'm probably going to be doing more of these, so sorry for not doing more up till now. Take care.